Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Anita Anand with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the academic community on first anniversary of National Education Policy 2020, launches multiple key initiatives to mark the occasion. 14 engineering colleges of 8 states will impart education in 5 Indian languages, says Prime Minister. Centre announces 27% reservation for OBCs and 10% reservation for EWS in medical and dental courses. Both houses of Parliament adjourned for the day amidst repeated disruptions over Pegasus snooping and other issues. India closely monitoring developments in Afghanistan, says government. Over 45 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. National recovery rate stands at 97.38%. International Tiger Day being observed today. Prime Minister reiterates country's commitment to ensure safe habitats for tigers. In Tokyo Olympics, India's campaign gets a boost as men's hockey team, shuttler PV Sindhu and boxer Satish Kumar storm into quarterfinals of their respective games. Pugilist Mary Kom bows out of the games. Support pours in on social media for the boxing legend. And in cricket, the series decider, third and final T20 international between India and Sri Lanka underway in Colombo. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-23978046 and 1075. And now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said the National Education Policy NEP 2020 will give wings to the million dreams of our youth. Addressing the education community of the country on the first anniversary of the National Education Policy NEP 2020, Mr. Modi said the policy will play a key role in India's golden future as the nation is on the verge of entering 75 years of independence. He launched multiple key initiatives in the education sector on the occasion.
राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति के तहत आज शुरू हुई योजनाएं नए भारत के निर्माण में बहुत बड़ी भूमिका निभाएगी। भारत के जिस सुनहरे भविष्य के संकल्प के साथ आज हम आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं, उस भविष्य की ओर हमें आज की नई पीढ़ी ही ले जाएगी।
The Prime Minister said the whole education setup was disturbed due to COVID-19, but students quickly adapted to the change and got accustomed to online teaching.
कोरोना काल में देश के विद्यार्थियों ने तेजी से इस बदलाव को एडप्ट किया। ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन अब एक सहज चलन बनती जा रही है। शिक्षा मंत्रालय ने भी इसके लिए अनेक प्रयास किए हैं। मंत्रालय ने दीक्षा प्लेटफॉर्म शुरू किया, स्वयं पोर्टल पर पाठ्यक्रम शुरू किए और हमारे स्टूडेंट्स पूरे जोश से इनका हिस्सा बन गए। दीक्षा पोर्टल पर पिछले 1 साल में 2300 करोड़ से ज्यादा हिट होना ये बताता है कि ये कितना उपयोगी प्रयास रहा है।
Mr. Modi stated that India's youth will play a crucial role in the vision of Industry 4.0 and Digital India mission. He said youth destined to do great needs an education that is future-oriented and supports their dreams. He also said the policy will free students from unnecessary exam pressure.
हम कितना आगे जाएंगे, ये इस बात पर निर्भर करेगा कि हम अपने युवाओं को वर्तमान में यानी आज कैसी शिक्षा दे रहे हैं, कैसी दिशा दे रहे हैं। इसलिए भारत की नई राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति को इतना आधुनिक बनाया है, इतना फ्यूचर रेडी रखा है।
Mr. Modi said earlier students used to go to foreign countries to pursue their education further, but soon students will be able to get world-class education in their own motherland. He added that NEP 2020 also lets students pursue their education in their own mother tongue, and they will have multiple options to choose their medium of instruction. He expressed happiness that 14 engineering colleges in 8 states are going to start engineering courses in 5 Indian languages. These are Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Marathi and Bengali. A tool has also been developed for translation of engineering course in 11 Indian languages. The Prime Minister launched the Academic Bank of Credit that will provide multiple entry and exit options for students in higher education, first-year engineering programs in regional languages and guidelines for internationalization of higher education. Vidya Pravesh, a 3-month play-based school preparation module for Grade 1 students, Indian Sign Language as a subject at the secondary level, and Nishtha 2.0, which is an integrated program of teacher training designed by the National Council of Educational Research and Training NCERT, were also launched.
The government has taken a historic and a landmark decision of providing 27% reservation for other backward classes, OBCs, and 10% reservation for economically weaker section EWS in All India Quota Scheme for undergraduate and postgraduate medical and dental courses from the current academic year 2021-22 onwards. The Union Health Ministry said this decision will benefit every year nearly 1,500 OBC students in MBBS and 2,500 OBC students in post-graduation. It will also benefit around 550 EWS students in MBBS and around 1,000 EWS students in post-graduation. The ministry said the present government is committed to providing due reservation both to the backward category as well as the EWS category. In a tweet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said this decision will immensely help thousands of youth every year to get better opportunities. He said this will create a new paradigm of social justice in the country. Home Minister Amit Shah also welcomed the historic decision. Mr. Shah congratulated Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying, by fulfilling this long-pending demand, Mr. Modi has shown the commitment of the government towards the welfare of backward classes and economically weaker sections.
Both houses of Parliament continue to face disruptions over Pegasus, snooping, farm laws and other issues. The Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have been adjourned for the day. After the third adjournment, when the Lok Sabha reassembled at 2 p.m., members of Congress, DMK, TMC, Akali Dal and other opposition parties again trooped into the well over the issues. Amid din, the House passed the Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Amendment Bill 2021 and the Inland Vessels Bill 2021 without discussion. The Chair repeatedly urged the agitating members to return to their seats and let the House function. As the protest continued, the House was adjourned for the day. Earlier, Speaker Om Birla expressed unhappiness over unruly behaviour of agitating opposition members. Referring to yesterday's incident, Mr. Birla said it is collective responsibility of all the members to run the House.
सदन में घटना हुई है उसे मुझे अत्यंतिक पीड़ा हुई है। आसन पर पर्चे फेंकना, आसन की अवमानना करना हमारी संसदीय परंपराओं के अनुरूप नहीं है। हम संसद की गरिमा का ध्यान नहीं रखेंगे तो हमारा संसदीय लोकतंत्र कैसे मजबूत होगा। मेरी कोशिश है कि सभी सदस्यों को अपने विषय रखने का पर्याप्त समय दूं और उनको यथोचित सम्मान भी दूं और उनका सम्मान रहे, ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी है। क्या आप कल की घटना इस संसदीय गरिमा के अनुरूप मानते हैं? क्या इसे न्यायोचित मानते हैं? हम इसको लोकतंत्र का मंदिर मानते हैं और हम सबकी ये विश्वास भरोसा रहता है कि आसन सबके साथ न्याय करेगा, सबके साथ निष्पक्ष रहेगा। लेकिन हम सबको सामूहिक रूप से निर्णय करना होगा कि हम कैसे इस सदन की गरिमा और सम्मान को बढ़ा सकते हैं।
Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said opposition parties are ready to cooperate with the chair. He said the government is running away from discussion on vital issues. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi also expressed displeasure over yesterday's event. Mr. Joshi bemoaned that the opposition has maligned the dignity of the House. In the Rajya Sabha, when the House met after the second adjournment at 2 p.m., it passed the Factoring Regulation Amendment Bill 2021. Amid din, only a brief discussion could take place over the bill. The Coconut Development Board Amendment Bill 2021 was also introduced in the House. As ruckus by the opposition members, including Congress, TNC, Left and DMK, continued, Deputy Chairman Harivansh adjourned the House for the day. The Centre today said 780 new air traffic routes have been approved under the Regional Air Connectivity Scheme UDAN. Minister of Civil Aviation Jyotiraditya Scindia informed the Lok Sabha that 359 routes have become functional in the country after the inception of the scheme. Mr. Scindia said under the UDAN scheme, 59 new airports have been established.
The Parliament has passed the Factoring Regulation Amendment Bill 2021 with the Rajya Sabha approving it today amid din. The bill has already been passed by the Lok Sabha. The bill seeks to amend the Factoring Regulation Act 2011 to widen the scope of entities which can engage in factoring business. Factoring business is a business where an entity acquires the receivables of another entity for an amount. Factor can be a bank, a registered non-banking financial company, or any company registered under the Companies Act. Speaking on the bill, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said it will benefit the micro, small and medium enterprises of the country.
The Standing Committee came up with its report on 3rd February. That report had one legislative suggestion and about 8 different non-legislative suggestions, all of which have been accepted by the government. Therefore, we would like the House to consider this bill, to give their valuable opinion and consider and then pass this bill, which is very important for the MSME sector.
The government has been making efforts to ease travel restrictions for Indian students enrolled in foreign universities to make their travel to respective countries possible. In a written reply in the Rajya Sabha today, Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan said Indian missions abroad have been actively taking up these issues with the respective governments and have been impressing upon them to ease the travel restrictions. Consequently, travel restrictions are being eased for Indian students to travel to many countries including USA, Canada, UK, Ireland, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg and Georgia.
You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the academic community on first anniversary of National Education Policy 2020, launches multiple key initiatives to mark the occasion. 14 engineering colleges of 8 states will impart education in 5 Indian languages as Prime Minister. Centre announces 27% reservation for OBCs and 10% reservation for EWS in medical and dental courses. Both houses of Parliament adjourned for the day amidst repeated disruptions over Pegasus snooping and other issues. India closely monitoring developments in Afghanistan, says government. Over 45 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. National recovery rate stands at 97.38%. International Tiger Day being observed today, Prime Minister reiterates country's commitment to ensure safe habitats for tigers. In Tokyo Olympics, India's campaign gets a boost as men's hockey team shuttler PV Sindhu and boxer Satish Kumar storm into the quarterfinals of their respective games. Pugilist Mary Kom bows out of the games. Support pours in on social media for the boxing legend. And in cricket, the series decider, third and final T20 international between India and Sri Lanka underway in Colombo. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle and AIR News Alerts. चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे. You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. Over 43,92,000 vaccine doses were administered to eligible beneficiaries in the country during the last 24 hours. With this, more than 45 crore 7 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive.
The Union Health Ministry in a statement said the country has reported 43,509 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. A total of 38,465 patients also recovered from the infection during the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is currently at 97.38%. The central government is sending a 6-member team to Kerala in view of the COVID-19 cases in the state. The team will be headed by Director of the National Centre for Disease Control, Sujit Kumar Singh.
India has imported 31.5 lakh units of Sputnik Component 1 and 4.5 lakh units of Sputnik Component 2 vaccines so far. This was stated by Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan in a written reply in the Rajya Sabha today. He said, during the second wave of COVID pandemic, the international community came forward to provide specific medicines and equipment that were not immediately available in India. He said, materials from 52 countries have been received so far. External Affairs Ministry said India and US are engaged as part of the Quad Vaccine Initiative to supply vaccines to countries in the Indo-Pacific region from early 2022. The ministry's spokesperson Narendra said this while replying to a media query.
India and the US are engaged as part of the Quad Vaccine Initiative to supply vaccines to countries in the Indo-Pacific region from early 2022, that's next year. India stands united with the United States and several partners in working towards containing the COVID pandemic and for quick global economic recovery.
On import of vaccines from the US, Mr. Bagchi said both countries' health regulators are engaged with foreign vaccine manufacturers in this regard. As far as co-vaccine recognition is concerned, he said Bharat Biotech submitted its request along with all necessary documentation earlier in July to the World Health Organization.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has said there cannot be a military solution to the situation in Afghanistan. He stressed that there must be a negotiated political settlement in Afghanistan. Replying to supplementaries in the Rajya Sabha today, Dr. Jaishankar said there cannot be a takeover by use of force in Afghanistan, and India will work with the international community to ensure that political negotiations for the settlement are pursued seriously. He added that New Delhi will never accept an outcome which is decided by force. He said he had detailed discussion with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken over the Afghanistan issue. External Affairs Ministry today said India is closely monitoring developments in Afghanistan. Briefing media this evening, Ministry spokesperson Narendra said India and the world wish to see a democratic and stable Afghanistan.
India and the world wishes to see an independent, sovereign, democratic and stable Afghanistan, which is at peace with itself and its neighbors. Unilateral imposition of will by any party will not be democratic, cannot lead to stability and cannot provide legitimacy. Gains over the last 2 decades should be preserved.
India has called upon Pakistan to vacate all Indian areas under its illegal occupation. This was stated by External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Narendra Bagchi while replying to media queries.
The so-called elections in Indian territory under the illegal occupation of Pakistan are nothing but an attempt by Pakistan to camouflage its illegal occupation and the material changes undertaken by it in these territories. India has lodged a strong protest with the Pakistani authorities on this cosmetic exercise, which has been protested and rejected by the local people. Such an exercise can neither hide the illegal occupation by Pakistan nor the grave human rights violations, exploitation and denial of freedom to the people in these occupied territories. Pakistan has no locus standi on these Indian territories.
On joint press release after meeting of foreign ministers of China and Pakistan mentioning Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Bagchi said India categorically rejects any reference to Jammu and Kashmir in such joint statement. He said Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh have been and will remain integral and inalienable parts of India. The joint press release also made a reference to so-called China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Mr. Bagchi said India has consistently conveyed to China and Pakistan that the so-called CPEC is in India's territory and that has been illegally occupied by Pakistan. External Affairs Ministry said India has taken practical steps since 2016 to operationalize the Chabahar port and its efficacy is now clearly proven. Replying to media queries, Ministry spokesperson Narendra said India has proposed to include the port in the framework of International North-South Transport Corridor and has welcomed the formation of India, Uzbekistan, Iran, Afghanistan Quadrilateral Working Group on the joint use of Chabahar port. The meeting is likely to take place in the latter half of this year.
International Tiger Day is being celebrated today. The day aims to promote a global system for protecting the natural habitats of tigers and to raise public awareness and support for tiger conservation issues. On the occasion, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu expressed happiness that India's tiger population has increased significantly in recent years. On International Tiger Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted wildlife lovers, especially those who are passionate about tiger conservation. In a series of tweets, Mr. Modi said India is home to over 70% of the tiger population globally. He reiterated India's commitment to ensuring safe habitats for tigers and nurturing tiger-friendly ecosystems. He said India is home to 51 tiger reserves spread across 18 states. Mr. Modi said the last tiger census of 2018 showed a rise in the tiger population. The Prime Minister said India achieved the target of doubling of tiger population 4 years ahead of schedule of the St. Petersburg Declaration on Tiger Conservation. Mr. Modi said that India's strategy of tiger conservation attaches topmost importance to involving local communities. Speaking at a virtual event on the occasion of Global Tiger Day, Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister Bhupendra Yadav today said that tiger conservation is a symbol of conservation of forests. He also released the report, Status of Leopards, Co-Predators and Mega Herbivores 2018, stating that the report is a testimony to the fact that conservation of tigers leads to the conservation of the entire ecosystem. The event also showcased the 14 tiger reserves in India which received the accreditation of the Global Conservation Assured Tiger Standards.
To boost the morale of the players in the Tokyo Olympics, good wishes are pouring from all across the country under the Cheer for India campaign.
In the Tokyo Olympic Games, India's campaign got a boost on the 7th day today when men's hockey team, shuttler PV Sindhu and boxer Satish Kumar stormed into the quarterfinals of their respective games. Ace Indian shuttler PV Sindhu defeated Denmark's Mia Blichfeldt 21-15, 21-13 in just 41 minutes to cruise into the quarterfinals of women's singles event. Sindhu will now face 4th seed Japanese Akane Yamaguchi tomorrow at 1:15 p.m. in the last 8. In men's hockey, India beat defending champions Argentina 3-1 to enter the last 8. By virtue of this win, India have consolidated their position in the second spot of Pool A with 3 wins and 1 loss out of 4 games behind Australia. The top 4 make the last 8 stage from each group. Indian men's team will play hosts Japan in their final pool match tomorrow at 3 p.m. and women's hockey team will meet Ireland at 8:15 a.m. Indian boxer Satish Kumar defeated Jamaica's Ricardo Brown 4-1 to reach the last 8 in men's super heavyweight plus 91 kilogram category. Satish Kumar has become the 3rd Indian boxer to reach the quarterfinals of the Tokyo Games. However, in the biggest upset of the day, pugilist Mary Kom bowed out of the after losing to Colombia's Ingrid Victoria Valencia via a split decision 2-3 in the pre-quarterfinals bout of women's 49 kilogram category. In archery, Atanu Das progressed into the pre-quarterfinals after defeating Ho Jin Hyek of South Korea 6-5 in the men's individual event. Earlier in the day, Atanu defeated Olympic silver medalist Deng Yu Cheng of Chinese Taipei by 6-4 in the round of 32. In pre-quarterfinals, Atanu Das will meet T. Furukawa of Japan on Saturday. In women's individual event, Deepika Kumari will meet Ksenia Perova of Russia Olympic Committee in pre-quarterfinals at 6 a.m. tomorrow. India's ace shooters Manu Bhaker secured 5th position while Rahi Sarnobat secured 18th place in the women's 25-meter pistol precision qualification. The women's 25-meter pistol rapid qualification round will take place tomorrow. In rowing, India's pair of Arjun Lal Jat and Arvind Singh finished 5th in the lightweight double sculls final B and 11th overall. In sailing, India's Vishnu Saravanan finished 23rd in 8th race of laser radial event of men's one-person dinghy, while Netra Kumanan finished 20th in 8th race in laser radial event of women's one-person dinghy. Sailors Varun Thakkar and K.C. Ganapati finished 7th in the 6th race in men's 49 event. India's golfers Anirban Lahiri and Udayan Mane began their campaign at the Games in men's individual stroke play.
Meanwhile, support poured in on social media for Indian boxing legend Mary Kom after she was knocked out of the Olympic Games. Public figures and sports persons, among others, hailed the Indian boxer. Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur said that the boxer Mary Kom is a legend. Tagging her in a tweet, the minister said that she has shown what it takes to be the best in the world not once, but throughout her inspirational career. Law Minister Kiren Rijiju said in a tweet that Mary Kom lost in Tokyo Olympics by just 1 point, but she is always a champion for him. He said she has achieved what no other female boxer in the world has ever achieved. He said India is proud of Mary Kom. Listeners from across the country are participating in the Olympic quiz with AIR News. Listeners have emailed us their replies in huge numbers. Praveen Bishnoi of Faridabad in Haryana was the first to send the correct answer of the question of 28 July. Many congratulations to him from the entire team of AIR News. Speaking to AIR News, Praveen expressed his happiness on winning the Olympic quiz and wished the Indian Olympic contingent the best for Tokyo Olympics.
स्पोर्ट्स के क्विज कंपटीशन में विजेता बनने पर मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है। मैं लगातार आकाशवाणी पे समाचार सुनता हूं और आकाशवाणी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इस प्रकार के जो कंपटीशन हैं इनसे काफी मनोबल बढ़ता है। जितने भी ओलंपिक में पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं उन सभी को मेरी बेस्ट विशेस। देश के लिए ज्यादा से ज्यादा मेडल जीत के आए।
To participate in the Olympic quiz, tune into our program Sports Can at 7:20 p.m. every day.
In cricket, India have won the toss and elected to bat first against Sri Lanka in the series decided third and final T20 international at Colombo. India were 43 for 5 in 12 overs when reports last came in. The hosts won the second match yesterday by 4 wickets in a low-scoring game and levelled the series 1-1. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is likely to experience generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Temperature will hover between 25 and 32 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, minimum temperature will be 25 degrees, maximum expected to be around 32. Chennai, the temperature will vary between 28 and 36 degrees. Kolkata will observe a minimum temperature of 27, maximum around 31. Srinagar will experience a thunderstorm with rain. Temperature will hover between 20 and 28 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature will be 24 degrees, maximum around 27. Leh is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Minimum and maximum temperature will be between 12 and 26 degrees. Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Temperature will hover between 18 and 32 degrees. Muzaffarabad will experience a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature will be 25 degrees, maximum around 32. In Dehradun, minimum temperature will be 23 degrees. Maximum will be around 29. In Hyderabad, minimum temperature will be 23 degrees, maximum around 31. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong, Aizawl, Kohima and Itanagar will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Gangtok, temperature will hover between 17 and 23 degrees. Visakhapatnam will observe a minimum temperature of 27 degrees and a maximum of around 35. Now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the academic community on first anniversary of National Education Policy 2020, launches multiple key initiatives to mark the occasion. 14 engineering colleges of 8 states will impart education in 5 Indian languages, says Prime Minister. Centre announces 27% reservation for OBCs and 10% reservation for EWS in medical and dental courses. Both Houses of Parliament adjourned for the day amidst repeated disruptions over Pegasus snooping and other issues. India closely monitoring developments in Afghanistan, says government. Over 45 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. National recovery rate stands at 97.38%. International Tiger Day being observed today. Prime Minister reiterates country's commitment to ensure safe habitats for tigers. In Tokyo Olympics, India's campaign gets a boost as men's hockey team shuttler PV Sindhu and boxer Satish Kumar storm into quarterfinals of respective games. Pugilist Mary Kom bows out of the game. Support pours in on social media for the boxing legend. And in cricket, series decider third and final T20 international between India and Sri Lanka underway in Colombo. With that, we end the evening news. Good night.